Okay, welcome. I'm Chris Walton. I'm a mindfulness teacher.
I'm Dan Keneally. I'm a meditation teacher.
Okay, and today we're talking about the weird and wonderful experiences that we have experienced in our years of meditation practice. So we'll be talking about disappearing, getting words and messages come into our minds, imagery, weird sensations in the body, expansion, all that kind of thing.
Great.
So when I sort of say strange experiences, does anything come to mind?
You lose sense of the physical body sometimes. And you can still be quite active in terms of mental activity and be aware of what's around you in the room, even if your eyes are closed. But you can begin to lose physical sensations in the body to the point where you're thinking, are my hands like clasped? Are they closed? Are they on my lap? Like I can't.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you what position my hands are in. So loss of physical sensation of the body was something that I'd never experienced before in waking states.
Yeah. Something else like maybe like the lips feel really big, or where there's lots of nerves, the face.
Yeah.
It can just feel like you're just in those sensations and the rest of the body's small, for example. Lots of weird stuff like that.
Yeah. I learned a new advanced meditation technique a few weeks ago, and it was only a very, very subtle change to the way I'd been meditating before. And it's true that subtle changes can have profound effects. And the first few times I meditated with this slightly new technique, I felt like I was contorting.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, I was in a group of people, and I almost thought if I open my eyes or if anyone looks at me, I'm kind of going to be sat like hunched over. I feel like I'm twisting my face, my head, my upper body. But I was sat perfectly still. But internally, I had this twisting of the internal body just from using a very, very subtly different mantra.
Interesting.
Unbelievable.
So when you open your eyes, you weren't kind of...
No, I was sat perfectly normal.
That's interesting.
Perfectly normal. But I would have put my last penny on. I was twisting.
Yeah.
Because I thought I look stupid.
Yeah.
But so weird, weird thing.
Yeah.
Weird thing.
Something strange that happened to me was I put so much attention onto my leg. I think I had like a warm sensation in my leg, and I was kind of trying to encourage that sensation to move around. But I just spent so much attention on my awareness into my leg. It felt like I was in my leg, and it was like my leg was looking back at me. Because all of my awareness had gone there, and I didn't feel like there was anything else. It's really weird.
Yeah. The first time I ever learned to meditate properly, I felt like I had a beam of light coming out the top of my head. Visually, I could feel it, I could sense it, I could see it. I was like, this is whatever's happening, this is brand new. A brand new experience. It was beautiful. Never got it again.
Yeah.
And a lot of people experience that with meditation. They experience something really quite profound in terms of something that's experiential when they first begin, maybe even the first or second time that they meditate. And then it doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
Because so suddenly the body recognizes it as being something familiar, and it no longer becomes something that's exceptional. That's not to say that the benefits don't happen. We both know that's not the case, but people then start to chase that initial experience that they first had.
Yeah.
I think that happened to you, didn't it?
Yeah, well, the first time I learned transcendental meditation, I was lucky to have a really interesting experience. I just disappeared into like kind of goldeny white light.
Yeah.
And time kind of disappeared. It's really hard to describe, but yeah, after that, I wanted to have that again. And I did have that again, but I really felt the attachment to it, which made it harder to get to.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's a really nice segue into practicing non-attachment. You know, that Sanskrit word vairagya. Don't get attached to the good stuff, don't get attached to the bad stuff, because it's all impermanent. And chasing experiences or outcomes or expectations in meditation
Yeah.
can often lead you down the path where you feel a little bit of frustration with the practice if you're not feeling those things that you initially felt.
Yeah.
And then people can kind of think, well, it's not working anymore, or I've experienced all there is to experience. It's not the case. But those experiences, that's where a really good teacher should come in
Yeah.
and say, this is what you're experiencing. This is, you know, the importance or non-importance of it. And this is how to move forward with practice, because then it just takes that potential frustration away.
Yeah.
Because weird and wonderful things happen in meditation.
Yeah.
Time loss you mentioned as well. I can meditate for 13, 14 minutes, or what I think is 13 or 14 minutes, and I look at the clock and it's 57 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, this happened the other day. And that's quite regular. Complete loss of time. And you think, where was I?
Yeah.
Where was I? I feel like I've been meditating.
Yeah.
Just open my eyes and it's nearly an hour later. That's weird, because we're not used to that happening when we're walking around in our day-to-day state.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm just thinking of experiences where I've been really present and been taking in all the sensations in the body and the sounds outside, and I felt really expanded. Like, feel like my awareness is really thin. It's like the sounds on the horizon. I'm stretched out, but it feels good. It doesn't feel. I feel grounded. It doesn't feel like I'm stretched thin. It's just really expanded. Those are beautiful experiences where I'm just sitting in the present, and the kind of experience I've not experienced before. So yeah, I treasure them when they pop up.
Mm-hmm. It's nice to enjoy those moments in meditation for what they are.
Yeah,
Just moments.
yeah,
And not get too attached with them.
yeah. I'm thinking about when I was practicing transcendental meditation. You're not supposed to do this, but I would set a recorder and I would just say out some phrases that came to me, which was making the meditation a bit goal orientated, which you're not supposed to do, but it was really fascinating because I just get a phrase in my mind, and like you say, it's just a pop-up image. But for me, it was pop-up words, like a sentence, and they'd be really bizarre, but kind of transcendent as well. On some level, they made no sense. On another, they probably did, or they did to me. But the most bizarre thing, if you're used to like talking in more logical sentences, to have your mind just popping up with these weird things was a new experience for me.
Well, in TM, and other transcending meditation techniques, this idea that the further you drop into your levels of awareness, the closer you're getting to that fourth natural state, that transcendent state. And the closer you get to your transcendent state, that's the source of all thought. So you're meeting thoughts on the way down that are less fully formed than the thoughts at the top of your awareness, which might be your to-do list, or what's going on in your life currently, or things that have been on your mind. So the more abstract and more dreamlike thoughts are a sign that you're probably somewhere in the lower levels of your awareness, more towards that transcendent state, because that's where the more less formed or more distant thoughts and memories are stored within us and occur at that level of thought. So they bubble up from the source of thought into fully formed thoughts, and we meet them at various stages on the way down towards that transcendent state. So I always say that a dreamlike state, or dreams, or abstract thoughts, weird thoughts, in conversations that you had as a 10-year-old in a primary school playground, you think, why am I thinking this in meditation? I've not thought about this for 30 years.
Yeah.
But it just pops up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's cool, but it's weird.
It is weird. I would take them and make music with them. Obviously, you're not supposed to do that, but because it makes it goal orientated. But it was really interesting.
Yeah.
Something else that's not so strange, but I love it now, is like relaxing part of the body. So like you go into meditation and you might be sitting for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then something just relaxes. And you're like, oh, I didn't even know I was holding that muscle. I didn't know I could relax deeper. I thought I was relaxed. Or a yawn, or a sigh. When a sigh just comes up, or a yawn, it flows through with no resistance. It's a simple thing, but it feels amazing. That feeling of letting go, and being able to flow with the body relaxing, the body letting go.
Yeah.
I treasure those kind of experiences.
Involuntary.
Yeah.
Yeah. When my body drops into the hypometabolic state in meditation, it's normally at around, I'm quite like clockwork, it's normally at around 15, 16 minutes into meditation. Involuntary, I'll take a huge inhale.
Yeah.
And then it just exhale.
Yeah.
As though my body's dropped to a state where the breath has become so slow for so long that it needs to intake some oxygen because my heart rate's been dropping and my breath has been dropping, and I've not been noticing. And obviously you're not in control of the breath, and if you're, dropping somewhere deep in meditation, then my body just tends to have a little catch up.
Yeah.
And that's the sign to me that, I've not even noticed that I'm in that state and really relaxed, really restful. But the body's keeping an eye on things ticking over, and you just allow it to happen. But that sigh, and you look at the clock, it's 16 minutes again.
That's one of the nicest experiences I've ever had, is those kind of involuntary kind of sighs or yawns. So pleasant. So pleasant.
It's a wonderful sign that nature's in charge in certainly in my meditations. There's no concentration, observing, effort, control, unlike some mindfulness techniques. So you just kind of turn the key in the ignition when you pick up your mantra, and then you just allow the car just to run by itself. That's the simplest analogy that I can give. Hands off, just let nature take over. And that surrender, that release, that letting go of engineering any particular outcome, and accepting what comes toward you in the present moment.
Yeah.
And that idea that whatever happens in my meditation is meant to happen in meditation. And I'm not in control, and I'm completely okay with that.
Yeah. And like, if someone hasn't experienced that before, like, they might have experienced something similar in a yawn. A really big yawn comes up. At the top of that yawn, you disappear for a few seconds, 2 seconds, right? You don't think about anything. It just flows through you, and it's really pleasant. To me, it's a bit like that experience, but for longer than a yawn.
Yeah.
Really pleasant.